and welcome to my channel. Today I have the great pleasure of chatting with WorldofEnders, aka Bootspa, a Guild Wars 2 content creator known for his brilliantly offbeat builds and a laid-back Canadian charm. Welcome to the channel, good sir. Please say hello.
Thank you. Hi, that's me, Boots. Nice to meet you.
I'm actually quite a big fan of your content.
Really?
Yes, very much so. I ran one of your flame builds for the engineer, the flamethrower build.
Oh yeah. A long time ago, yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the channel and I love your interactions with the one and only WP. Although I think he gives you a bit of a hard time sometimes. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would say so, yeah. But you're a gamer, first and foremost.
Yes.
What was your first game you ever played?
Probably Mario, the original Mario on NES, Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, I got an NES when I was, I don't know how old, really young. I had to get it with my own money because my parents have never bought me a video game or system in my life. But that's okay. That's okay. Oh. I got it. I got it when I was, I think it was 8, I want to say, and yeah, it was Super Mario Brothers, and I got a few other games back then. Yeah, that was my first game.
And what was your evolution from like Mario to what you're doing now?
I don't know. I guess it was, you know, just the progression of games as games grew as a thing throughout the years. So got NES, then Super NES, then PlayStation, switched platforms, then PlayStation 2, and then, yeah, now I'm on computers.
Is there any kind of games out of all the platforms that you've played on? Obviously Guild Wars 2 is a big one for you, but have there been any games in your history coming through that have kind of like defined gaming for you and kind of the pinnacle of what you love about gaming?
That's a good question. There's a few games that I really got into. The first one was probably Super Mario Kart. I don't think that defines me as a gamer, but no
judgment here. No judgment.
Yeah, but I definitely really got into it. I mean, maybe that's why right now I'm hooked on the roller beetles in Guild Wars 2. Then I think the first game I've played through till the end, like I guess you can't really count Super Mario Kart as something that you play through to the end, but the first game I actually like finished was Final Fantasy VII, and because the story hooked me, and it was just a really good game. So maybe I guess that would be the one that's the one that really hooked me into gaming, I guess.
Do you find yourself more drawn to narrative stories in gaming, or is it more gameplay orientated?
It's a mix of the two. I do like I mean, it really depends on what game it is. Like Overwatch, for example, I'll play it just for the gameplay. There's really no storyline in it. But I do like if there's a game, an RPG, for example, I'll definitely want them to have a good storyline. Like I just recently played God of War, the new God of War, and that was fantastic. And that was largely because of the narrative and just the way the camera worked. It was a really well done game.
It looks absolutely beautiful. I can't play console to save my life because I can't get hold of the voodoo box and make it work properly. I need a keyboard.
Yeah, so I definitely think that narrative is important in gaming, especially in RPGs. And I would say that if I'm playing an RPG, narrative is definitely top of the list for me.
I quite agree. That is the correct answer. So, did you play the original Guild Wars campaigns? Yeah,
I did. I think I got into it in Prophecies. I played that. I played through Factions. I only got through half of Nightfall. I don't know. I think I was involved in school a lot back then, so I kind of didn't have as much time. And I did get Eye of the North, but I also didn't finish that. Or wait, maybe I did. I did finish Nightfall, but I didn't finish Eye of the North. But yeah, that's how I definitely got into Guild Wars altogether as a fan. And that's probably, yeah, that is how I found out about Guild Wars 2. My friend and I, Slaylock, he's been on my channel a few times. We basically, you know, became huge Guild Wars fanboys together, and so like that wait period before Guild Wars 2, we were just like, you know, showing each other all of the hype videos going up to it, and just getting really excited, and then it finally came.
So 2 questions. Which was your favorite campaign, and how far did you get in the Hall of Monuments?
I think Factions was my favorite campaign. Yeah, I'd say Factions. Factions was my favorite campaign. I think that's when I started really getting into making builds for Guild Wars 1. But I mean, I didn't share it that much. I think I put it on like PVX Wiki or whatever back in the day. But I didn't really like, you know, make videos or anything like that. But I made a few really fun builds back in the day. And Factions just kind of caught my attention. And that's why I really want to go back to Cantha in Guild Wars 2.
That is also the correct answer. You may now have a cookie.
Thank you.
It's okay. Now, what did you play? Well, because I was a ritualist.
I played Assassin.
And so hard.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, actually. I made this build that, like, I mean, I think it became pretty... I think a lot of people used it in the end. I don't think they like copied my build or whatever. I think I put it on the wiki, but I don't think it was like it caught on or anything. It was just one of those enchantment based, you only get hit like 25% of the time and you just keep on healing things. Yeah, it was nice.
I was a dumb spirit spammer, so I you know, the most exciting thing I did was I did play through the story, but I did the juggy running in Jade Quarry. That was the pinnacle of my gameplay, so I can't really talk. Did you do any of the Hall of Monuments stuff?
I did. Oh yeah, sorry, I did. I think I got 30-something points. I didn't like I am in all of my gaming. I don't like go all in on things. That's probably a flaw on my part, but I like to just do a lot of different things and not go crazy on something. So yeah, I got like 30-something points, and yeah.
Thinking about the old game, what features from the old game would you have liked to have seen brought into the current one? Because it's a very different potato, isn't it?
It is, yeah, very different potato. Well, I mean, the customizability of your skills in Guild Wars 1 was like unmatched, right?
Absolutely.
I liked that about it for sure, and it would be nice if there was some of that in Guild Wars 2 as well, but I don't think it's possible because there's so much extra customizability outside of the skills in Guild Wars 2 that already it's troublesome to balance. So if they also like added the ability to swap out individual weapon skills, that would be insane. So although I think I liked how much customizability there was in Guild Wars 1 and having the, you know, being able to have a subclass. You know what? That's it. I would like to have a subclass in Guild Wars 2, although they're not going to do it because we already have elite specializations. I never really enjoyed using the heroes. I like Guild Wars 2 more in that way. I like you know, being more self-sustaining. And that's probably why most of my builds are like self-sustaining.
I like to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it and not have to wait for other people to hold my hand, so I'm very much with you on that account.
Yeah.
So, in Guild Wars 2, you are known for your build guides, and a lot of your videos you'll see you in the PvP area and the like, but what's your preferred game type if it's just for you purely, not for content creation, just for boots?
Ooh. Good question. It's really hard to say because I keep switching back and forth all the time. Like if I get bored of something, I'll go to PvE. If I get bored of PvE, I'll do some World versus World. If I get bored of World versus World, I'll do some PvP. I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I can't say that there's any one game mode that I go to more than any others.
Well, that's really interesting. So you're a real universalist. That's interesting.
I guess so, yeah.
Do you have a favoured profession build combo?
Oh, that's hard. Also, it's weird. I'd say I have more of a disfavored profession list than I do a favorite profession.
That's interesting. Go on then.
Yeah, because like I again, since the beginning of the game, I've had mains that have changed over time. Like I started being an elementalist mostly. I also actually I think my first character was a warrior, so like leveling up and stuff, I was a warrior the entire time. And then elementalist was my main for like a good year maybe. And then I switched that up too. Like, and since then I've had like my thief has been my main for a while. My guardian's kind of now my main, at least for PvP. And so there's a lot of professions that I like a lot and switch back and forth between. I guess it depends on, you know, balance issues and what comes out elite spec wise. But I've never gotten into Ranger. Ranger has always been the class that I have not really clung on to very well. Like it's never really caught my attention. So instead of a favorite profession or class or build, I'd say Ranger altogether. Everything about it I have not really enjoyed.
Okay.
Sorry to all those Ranger mains. I'm guessing you might be a Ranger main.
No. I'm very much like you. I'm an altaholic.
Yeah.
I have ones that I like to play because like I like to play my Necromancer because it's face roll. I can just roll my face across the keyboard and nothing can kill me.
Yeah.
So for lazy running around having a laugh with my mates, that's my go-to one. If I'm trying to do damage, I'll play my Ellie, but I love them all. That's a problem. Like
exactly. And that's it. So I'll still make builds for Ranger because I kind of need to. So you know the Ranger mains don't feel left out. But I'll play them for like, you know, most builds I'll make and then I'll play them for maybe a month or so afterwards because I like playing them after I make them. And the Ranger lasts maybe a week, maybe a week. Yeah, I'd say though for making builds, the easiest one to use is usually Thief because of the way, like just the mechanic of you could spam certain skills over and over again using your initiative. It just makes it like really simple to make, you know, synergistic builds that way because you could just choose one skill and not have to wait off cooldowns for it.
Wow, so that's your recommendation, is it? If you're starting to get into crazy builds, start with the Thief.
Yeah, maybe. Except Thief isn't the easiest class to play. So like if you're a bit of a newbie player who doesn't really mechanically play the game that well, maybe Thief isn't the best choice.
I would recommend the one that I'm playing at the moment, which is the Necro Scourge, because basically the rotation is use every button on your keyboard, weapon swap, use every button on your keyboard, rinse and repeat, and please use F5. That's it. Yep,
that's about right. Yeah, I would actually recommend the Scourge as well because the Necro Scourge, actually one of the most recent builds I did, if you put in a little bit of healing power in there, it becomes like ridiculously tanky. So it's, yeah, Necro Scourge, very beginner friendly. I would recommend it.
Yes. Speaking about, so I've got two questions. So I'd love to know how many physical characters that you have. And are you one of these players who has multiple accounts?
I do not have multiple. I made a EU account way back when, but I played it once. So no, I don't have multiple accounts, but I do have multiple characters, obviously, because I need to alt-aholic. But I'm not crazy though. Like I saw some of the people coming onto your show with their millions and millions of accounts and millions of characters, but no, I'm just your regular 9-character guy. So I have the 9 professions, and then I think I have 2 extra character slots that sort of change depending on what I need to do. Yeah, like I used one of the extra character slots to make a elementalist for role playing. I made one that looked like Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four, just for just for a build. Yeah.
And the other question I was going to ask you about your builds is, which is your favorite build that you've made in the last, say, 12 months?
Favorite build that I made in the last 12 months.
You can shorten that time period if it's easier for you.
Yeah. Favorite. You know what? I don't mind the Scourge, the Healy Scourge. I liked it. I liked it. It's nice and easy to use in PvE. It's like a little brain dead, but it's nice, and it's got a nice little flavor of making your own friends, which is important.
We are nerdy gamers. We do need to create our own friends from robots or beasts or whatever.
Yeah. AI, that's all I need.
So thinking about in-game and thinking about Guild Wars 2, what is the most epic thing you've done in-game? What is the most yeah, I did that. That was me. So it can be like, I mean, some people say that they've got a legendary weapon, or they've done something rather special. They've got like a first kill on a raid boss, but it can be something like that, or anything that kind of made you feel, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Ooh. Have I done anything epic in game? That is a good question. You know what? Let's go really recent, and I had top 2 lifetime on that new beetle race. Yeah, there we go. And but now I think I'm down to like 8th or something on the leaderboard of that beetle race adventure in the new map.
I can't even get mine to turn, so that is amazing. You are an absolute hero. And oh, sorry, that was my dog, by the way. Sorry, she's snoring in the background. Oh, yeah, she's a fatty palm. So, conversely, what is the most balls stupid thing that you've done in Guild Wars 2?
Well, I mean, I continuously do stupid things in Guild Wars 2.
Yay!
What the most balls stupid thing I continuously do would be to salvage, just buy exotic gear for builds and then salvage it at the end, and just continuously waste all my money for no reason whatsoever. But I'd say, actually, you know what? Probably the stupidest thing I've done in Guild Wars 2 is that my old Let's Roleplay video series that I had. It was dumb, and I liked it, but it was dumb.
I like dumb. I think dumb is some of the best stuff that you can do.
Yeah. So yeah, what I wanted to do, like in the first season, was the dumbest, I'd say. I wanted to make some videos with my friend Slaylock, and I wanted to play through the story, but I didn't want to just like play through the story. So I wanted to like add a little flavor to it. So we invented kind of a storyline. The first season was a lot more freeform. It was like we kind of invented the storyline as we went along, and dubbed over the, you know how in the original story, the Corteria story, there was, you know, those cinematics kind of that were just 2 people talking to each other.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, so we'd record that, like do our entire story, whatever, and then record that, and then go over it with, like, whenever our player character talked, we would dub over it.
So you did a bad lip reading version of the...
Yes, and it was terrible. It was so bad. But we had a lot of fun doing it. And then season 2, actually, the most fun I had probably was season 2 of it, where it was like we actually had kind of a storyline panned out. And obviously it changed as we went along because we were making stuff up as we went. But we also brought in Wooden Potatoes for it to do the villain character that came in like in 3 episodes or something like that.
Yes,
and
British, of course.
Of course, yeah. I mean, your villain has to be British. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. Still stupid, but a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. Can I ask you about your content creation? Because there are a lot of people who think about getting into content creation and never do. What actually led you from just being a regular nerdy gamer to actually wanting to put yourself out there and do some content creation?
I don't know. It was it started out, I mean, it's always been a hobby. Like I started doing it as a hobby and I continue doing it as a hobby. I think I never tried to get into it to make it a thing. So I don't know if I'm the best person. Like if you're trying to listen to me to pick out like, oh, I want to be a YouTube personality forever, and I want to be a Twitch streamer forever. I'm not the right person to talk to because I've always just considered it to be a hobby. But we were just me and my friend was just really excited about Guild Wars 2 coming out, and we wanted to talk about it, and so we did. I think the first videos we made were during the beta weekend, and it was like over some crappy PvP footage that I had while I was doing it, and me and my friends just talked about the game for a while, and it was fun, and it's been fun ever since.
Actually, I haven't talked about tea time. I should talk about tea time, shouldn't I?
If you'd like to.
You collaborate with a lot of content creators, and I wanted to make sure that we give them a shout out because I wanted to show them some love. So you collaborate with these guys. There's a lot of the guys in the community. How is that? Do you enjoy it? Do you recommend collaboration for content creators?
Yeah, I would definitely say try to do collaborations with people because you'll make new friends. You'll come up with new ideas. And I don't know. I mean, if you really want to go for doing YouTube, probably collaboration is a great way to do it because you widen your audience that way as well. But I mean, that's not why I do it. That's not why I do it. I just do it, because I like hanging out with these people.
Yeah, it's a boys club kind of. You're all nattering and it's a geeky fun time. So I will put links to Tea Time down below.
It shouldn't have to be a boys club though, It could be a people's club.
It could be, but you'd need some X's on your
Yes.
It's a bit of a sausage fest, but we love you anyway.
I know.
Okay, well, much love to Mighty Teapot and Emma Winks and all the rest of the guys who regularly pop onto Tea Time. It's a great show and I highly recommend it, and there will be links below. What's the most challenging thing about being a content creator, even as a hobby? What's the difficult bit? Is it the scripts? Is it working out the builds?
The scripts. I don't think I've ever written a script for any of my videos. So not the scripts. That's not the hardest. For my particular content creation, definitely working out the builds. That takes forever. Editing is not that difficult, but it is, sometimes it's a bit of a chore. But no, definitely working out the builds for my content creation. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, because people might want to know, what do you use for your editing?
I use Power Director 13, I think it's called, and Audacity for my audio, and a Blue Yeti for my microphone. Yeah,
that's what I'm on my desktop. Yeah, that's a pretty
good one.
Yeah,
it's a good one. It picks up a lot of extra echoes stuff from around the room though, so that is an issue.
Yep, my dog farts. Yep. The microphone picks it up. It really.
Yeah, it picks up everything. So if you just want to have a nice ambient sound video, you want to do some ASMR, maybe that's good, but I don't know.
I get accused of ASMR all the time. It is entirely unintentional, sadly.
You have a lovely voice. I think that's yeah, that makes sense.
Well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. Do you have any advice for people jumping in? I get a lot of questions about how I do my stuff, what's my process. Do you have any advice, or is there any piece of advice that you wish someone had given you when you jumped into the whole crazy content creation?
Well, like I said, as somebody who's just doing it as a hobby, it's the advice I give would be just for that, and it would be, you know, do what you enjoy doing, because if you're doing a video that you enjoy doing, if you're like playing a game that you enjoy playing, it'll definitely come through to your audience, and that will definitely make everything better, because they'll be more into it, and you'll be more into it, and you might have better ideas for things. So if you're not doing what you enjoy doing, I wouldn't recommend it, because it's just going to show.
I completely and absolutely agree with that. Okay, so I'm going to quickly jump back to a bit of World v World questions, because we've got some big changes coming up on the horizon.
Oh yeah.
And I just wanted to gauge your thoughts on it. So World v World has always been a bit, like, I don't want to say broken, but the least loved bastard child of ArenaNet, I think is a fair.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think of it that way, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, although they have some beautiful maps.
They have beautiful maps, and the game mode is very, very fun.
I really do enjoy it. What do you think about the changes coming up, the alliances?
I am definitely looking forward to them. I hope that they implement it properly. So I don't know if your audience knows all about it already, or can we talk about it maybe a bit?
Yeah, please, let's talk about it.
Okay, so alliances are coming. So right now, the way World vs. World works is you're divided into servers that you sign on to when you first make your characters or whatever, when you first make your account. And you could switch servers, whatever, but the servers there's a lot of servers, and a lot of them are kind of underpopulated with respect to World vs. World. So what they've done recently is link worlds. And also a long time ago, maybe 2 years into the game, they released mega servers, which for everything but World vs. World kind of made servers or worlds inconsequential, because you could just play with everybody in the mega servers in PvE and PvP. So what this means is, what originally was thought of for World vs. World, which was you are on a world, this is your, or a server, and this is your server, you have to protect your server, you have to fight for your server, and win for your server. It's kind of gone away, because the servers only really count for World vs. World still, and doesn't exist any other way, and they get linked now, so like you're paired up with other servers, so it really doesn't feel like only your server anymore. So this thing called server pride has kind of gone away. It still exists for some of the high tier servers that don't get linked up with other things, but it's on the whole it's been gone, and which really has left a lot of people who originally loved World vs. World for that kind of thing wondering if it's ever going to come back. So it seems as though their idea is to add these alliances, this alliance system, change the thing entirely. So worlds will now, instead of being your servers will be abolished, and your worlds will be based off of guild alliances, which is great. So this makes sense, because now, hopefully, Guild Wars 2 World vs. World will actually be sort of like Guild Wars, because your servers based off of your guilds, you'll have guild pride fighting against other guilds and alliances, and you finally get sort of get Guild Wars in Guild Wars 2. I
know that has been severely lacking.
Yeah.
Lots of people in my guild are really looking forward to it, because they love being in the fluffy kittens teddy bear guild that it is, but they want to be able to jump in and you know, smash some heads occasionally.
Absolutely. Now there's been a recent post about the alliances that makes me a little more worried, because a few things. Number one, it seems as though like the most recent note said that they're thinking about, like, it's all still, you know, up in the air, but they said they're thinking of limiting alliances to 500 people, which means that an entire alliance could just be one guild, which in some ways defeats the purposes of alliances, because alliances should be an alliance of guilds, but maybe not. And also they said that a lot of front-end stuff like leaderboards for World vs. World and some new rewards, I think they were saying, might not be coming with the initial release of this new alliance system.
Oh god, the forums.
Yeah, so I think that might be a mistake, because if they release this new alliance system without any carrot, without any reason for new players to come join these alliances to play World vs. World, it might fall a little flat. And
they need the incentive. You have to draw people in if you want it to work.
Yeah, and leaderboards would be a huge incentive. New rewards would be a huge incentive, and I think it's really important because this alliance system as a whole will only survive, and World vs. World would probably with it only survive if the community really pulls together and does it, because it's all community based at this point, right? Afterwards.
Absolutely. I mean, World v World has been hanging on by a thread by virtue of the determination of the community for, what, 3 years?
Yeah. So hopefully it works, and I really hope that they implement some sort of looking for guild system beforehand, because although there are services like offline, you have websites that will help you find World vs. World guilds, and also in map chat you'll have a bunch of people spamming, hey, join our guild, probably in the weeks leading up to the implementation of the alliance system. It's still, it would be much better if it was a system in game that's easy, that allows new players or players who want to find good World vs. World guilds an easy path to do so. Yeah.
I mean, they have that system, I hate to blaspheme, but they have that system in World of Warcraft. It's basically a looking for group tab for guilds, where you specify your game type, what you're interested in. There's lots of variables, you plug it all in, you throw it out there into the community, and guilds will get back to you, or you can see guilds. It's like it gives a list of guilds that fit the parameters of what you've specified, so that then you can contact them.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. They've been at it for a while. I think that they're getting quite reasonable at it by now. Good old Blizzard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure this stuff will come eventually, but it seems as though they're working hard on the actual implementation of the alliance system itself, and haven't been trying to think about all the things that should come with it right now. So that's an issue, but hopefully it'll all work out. Okay, so here's the thing. You can thank me later. I have now made you a game god for the purposes of our conversation. Congratulations. Oh, thank you. But your powers as a deity are limited. Uh-oh. But you can change the game however you want to. So what would you do for World v World? What would you do for the general game? How would you reshape the world if you had the power to? Oh. Ooh. Cantha. Cantha is in game now. Congratulations, everyone. Have fun. Click your heels together 3 times and you'll be there in Kayang City. Easy peasy. Honestly, that's one thing for sure. World vs. World, the alliance system, if it's implemented with everything that it needs, is another thing. And that's actually coming down the pipeline, so I don't need to be a god for that. But what minutiae would you make sure? What do you think that they need to do to actually make the goddamn thing work? They need a good and well implemented looking for guild system to allow people to make the alliances and guilds for the alliances a lot easier. They need a decent reward structure, a new reward structure that ties in with the alliances and guilds. So like maybe guild-based rewards and leaderboards that are guild or alliance-based as well, that also give some sort of rewards in some way, maybe. You need that. What else? Okay, so that's World vs. World. PvP, change anything. Map chat. Map chat. Just take out map chat.
Spontaneously be able to Botox the larynx of anybody that you don't like.
Exactly. Goodbye, map chat. Okay. Oh. Here's one. The whole, you know, like you could whisper somebody and block them so they can't whisper back. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. That's done. What else? PvE. Okay, let's talk about PvE. Well, Cantha's one thing, right? Guild Wars in Space. I've been hoping for that for a while. I think that's coming after Cantha because you know the storyline is kind of like eventually we're gonna figure out that Kryta's just one place and we probably shouldn't mess with it any further. Let's go explore where the gods have gone.
We could go to the humans' original planet, or plane of existence, or whatever it is.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Anywhere. I mean, the gods have gone somewhere, right? So they're in space somewhere. We gotta find them.
I would, if I say this all the time. If I could change one thing about the game, it would be the crappy loot system.
Oh yes, please, yes, absolutely.
Exception is.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, they got a little bit closer. Yes, they got a little bit closer to something that's manageable with the unidentified gear stuff that stacks at least, but it's still not even close because there's still so many like account bound, unsalvageable, soul bound stuff that like just clogs up your box so quickly. And also, I mean, I'm not a good person to talk about this because I constantly have 4 sets of exotic gear on all my characters that are also clogs up my inventory, so I only have like 10 spots available otherwise.
Oh my God, so, the new maps must be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's not great. No. What I really need, if somebody out there in your audience wants to donate a one of those Merchant Express contracts things, that would be great. Thank you very much.
We'll see what we can do.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Well, this has been really fun, and would you believe that we've been talking for about half an hour already?
Wow.
I know, time flies. So what I'm going to do, because I've probably kept you long enough, is I'm going to ask you 2 questions, 2 finishing off questions, which I always ask. So, first one is, what is your most useless real-world talent?
Most useless real-world talent?
Useless, absolutely useless. Like, my hubby can swallow a whole banana. This is kind of, party trick kind of area, but...
Your hubby could swallow? Is that true?
Yeah, he can.
What does he use that for?
I don't know. Maybe his next career if we get impoverished too much. Yeah,
very impoverished you'd have to be.
I could kill me for this, but I'm keeping it in, I don't care.
Let's see. I am pretty decent at I have this thing where I could, like, with my hands, contort them in a way that makes, like, a duck face. It's really, I don't know how else to describe it.
If you can send me some footage of you doing your duck-faced hand, I would be deeply grateful, and I will put it in with this. Okay.
Alright, I'll do my best. Although it's going to be hard because I use both hands for it, and I don't know how I'll take a picture of that.
Little recording?
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. All right.
Thank you. Everyone, there you go. Okay, and then the last question I always like to ask is, we both spend a lot of time in realms of magic, in games where magic is mundane. But in the mundane world, in our real world, what is the closest thing to magic that you've ever experienced?
Well, I'm glad that you've asked me this question for the first time. And I didn't. We didn't end this interview with me still thinking about it, and then call you back and say, "Hey, I came up with something." Oh, what's happening?
I started to live stream.
No.
It's fine. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to. I'm not asking the question again. I've already got it down. You go with your
Okay.
answer. It's fine.
The answer to your question is the Turritopsis Dohrnii. The end.
No, you have to elaborate on that.
You know the immortal jellyfish guy, the jellyfish that lives forever essentially because it can. It's a jellyfish that one part of its life cycle is dying, turning into sort of goo, and then coming back to life again and completely regenerating.
I remember seeing a thing about this. Yeah, it can switch to different portions of its life cycle backwards and forwards.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that's such a good answer.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that we we did this then.
Tardigrades are pretty cool as well.
Honestly, I'm just gonna tell you this right now. I was about to bring up tardigrades. I was about to bring up tardigrades. It was my second thing.
I'm gonna have a link down below. If I can figure out how to spell it, I will find it. We will have a link, and I might try and get a picture of both a tardigrade and magic octopus.
Yep. You know that meme that the what are they? The honey badgers don't give.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Am I allowed to say that word on this?
I can quack it.
Okay, good. Well, tardigrades, they don't give any because they do whatever they want. They live in space. They live in negative whatever degrees Celsius and Kelvin. Live in 100 billion degrees Kelvin. They do whatever they want. They're good people.
They are. What was it? I think it was like someone said, tardigrades might not come from Tardigon, but they might allow us to actually like figure out hibernation, figure out longer space travel because of the ridiculous distances in our universe.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Mother Nature has basically, we think we're so shit red hot, but Mother Nature has done everything. Have you seen the latest thing whereby trees have a kind of like a mitochondrial system underneath them? It's like a network.
You mean like an avatar?
Yeah.
I did not hear that.
It's I think it was in The New Scientist.
Wow.
And they have like, they can communicate with one another, and like if a tree is dying, it'll drop its nutrients into the ground. They have an altruistic tendency, and then they spread. It's crazy. We think we know so much, and yet the more we learn, the stupider we realize we are.
That makes me think that they should really study. You know, there's that. I think it's technically maybe the oldest living organism. In a way, because it's a clonal colony of I think a type of poplar tree, and it's a grove of poplars that is like, but it's a single tree that clones itself. Yeah, it would be interesting to see the, I guess, mitochondria down and those roots.
I mean, that's why they say that people have a second brain in the stomach, because like
because I can only think of food when I'm hungry.
No, but like so the cravings. So depending on the fauna in your stomach depends on what you crave to eat. It can also affect your mood. It's linked to all sorts of illnesses and depression, and it's why they think that allergy responses have increased exponentially because of the fact that we've been using antibiotics wholesale. And we've not only been killing bacteria and infections that are bad for us, but we've also been killing off the fauna inside us that is actually protective. And that's why they think that, which is why phages are so interesting.
Yeah. You never really think about the amount of bacteria in your body that just sort of live symbiotically with you, and
depending on where you are in your evacuation of your bowel depends on how much.
Are we talking about bowel movements right now?
We are.
In my head? Okay.
Because
right.
It depends, because if you have not gone to the toilet for a while, you are more than 50% bacterial colony. So you need to empty your bowels so that you are a complete, like, you're up in the stakes.
Wow.
We were talking about magic, weren't we? Yeah.
Yes, well, I mean, what's more magical than bowel movements? Actually, you know what? I changed my answer. Forget the immortal squid. Bowel movements. That's my answer.
I think that's the perfect thing to end the interview on.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for having me.
It's been a real pleasure. So much for coming on the channel. Is there anything you'd like to say to our viewer listening to us chatting?
Yes. At the beginning of the interview, I said something like, "My parents never bought me video games." My parents are awesome. It might have sounded like I was upset about that, but I'm not upset about that. My parents are the best.
Aww.
Well, the end.
The end. That's it. Your parents are the better than magic.
Yeah, good old Canadian people.
Well, thank you so much for being on the channel. There will be links to all World of Enders Boots' social media, his YouTube channel. You do have a Twitch channel. Do you use it?
Do I use it a lot? No. I use it very sparingly. I think the last time I used it, actually it wasn't that long ago, I did my PvP placements, but subscribe to it on the off chance you'll see me once every several months.
Everything will be down low in the description and in a pinned comment at the top of the comment section, so you can find all Boots' bits and pieces, because he's brilliant and I'm very grateful for you being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
I want to give a shout out to Craig, Ken Schneider and Ada and all my patrons who support my content and make it possible for me to commit the time, effort and energy I do to it. I can never thank them all enough. If you are thinking of joining the Guild Wars 2 community, there are referral links below to the free-to-play game, the Heart of Thorns expansion and the Path of Fire expansion 2, thanks to the generosity of ArenaNet and their partner program. Using these referral links directly supports my channel. Now I hope you will join me again, but until then, as always, thanks for watching.